think that you're familiar with two of them. And I'll just use those two because they came up in conversations today as I talked with students and faculty and other people that weighed in on what the situation is in respect to race at Sonoma State University. And that is first that during a multicultural festival on the campus, someone put out literature with the N-word on it. I don't know what that is. Then I was told, secondly, that in a student government race, there was an individual who was African-American that had to endure racial epithets and negative racist action against them because of the color of their skin. Things like this happen at university campuses. Just last month, in January, at Arizona State University, I'm sure many of you probably saw the story. We had a fraternity there, Tau Kappa Epsilon, that engaged in similar offensive racist behavior. The members there decided to throw what they called an MLK Black Party. And those activities consisted of people dressing up like black folks, whatever that means. Creating things like a watermelon cup to drink from, putting on blackface and going out with a mob mentality, intent on harassing their fellow classmates who happen to be African American. That's wholly unacceptable in our society today. One of the things that struck me after talking with administrators and students about Sonoma State University is the fact that, at least in my estimation, it's not clear when these instances happen that there is a zero tolerance policy for racism. And I think we know that policy can be shaped and formed, and even though it exists or can be brought into fruition, it doesn't necessarily translate into what is socially acceptable and unacceptable on the campus. And that, to me, seems to be an area where the university should focus, where we're called to focus. I think if you look at the age that we live in today, sexual harassment, there's a zero tolerance policy for it. Bullying, there's a zero tolerance policy for it. Homophobia, there's a zero tolerance policy for it. Engaging in the degradation of women and those that are disabled, there's a zero tolerance policy for it. But it seems to me, at least, and to those that are impacted by this, that when it comes to the element of race and dealing with racism on the university campus, there's a vagueness that surrounds the tolerance of those types of activities. And it's not fair, it's immoral, and it's incumbent upon the leadership of this university to do something about that. There should be a zero tolerance policy for any racist behavior that occurs on this campus. And the administration should be able to lead that charge. I was reflecting on the motto of the university: light of the mind and light of the world. And I laughed to myself because of a conversation that I had with administrators. And my question to you tonight, and my question to the president of this university, is whether, when he thinks of that phrase, you know, he's spelling his light L-I-G-H-T or L-I-T-E. Because I find, at least in his actions and conversations with other civil rights leaders and those that want to bring about change, that as opposed to being light of the mind and light of the world, he is light in the mind and therefore light in the world. The attitude that he brings to the table by rejecting the truth that is the existence of white privilege in our society is offensive, both to those who are victimized by it, and it shows to me, unfortunately, that he harbors an antiquated view of race relations and the reality of where we are in America in terms of identifying and understanding privileges that individuals have simply because of the color of their skin.